But my vice president, the vice president of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, who also happens to be a board member of the League of Women Voters. So I'd like you to help me welcome Dr. Alfreda Brown.
Thank you very much. That was just really wonderful, Cassie and Ida B. Wells, otherwise known as Kara White. Just really wonderful. Such a beautiful message. Well, it is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Beverly Warren, our president at Kent State University. And she became the 12th president on July 1st of this year. So she hasn't been with us that long, but boy, has she been everywhere. It seems like she's been here much longer than July 1st. We're really happy to have her. Prior to coming to Kent State, Dr. Warren served as provost and senior vice president at Virginia Commonwealth University. Dr. Warren is an internationally respected and widely published scholar in the fields of education and exercise physiology, and has earned a reputation as a consensus builder. League women know what consensus means. And very effective communicator. Please welcome President Beverly Warren.
That's a hard act to follow. I think we should just say amen and let's move on to whatever our next event might be. That was just really, really wonderful. You know, I feel like I need a guitar. Does this not just look like I'm supposed to entertain you? I've been staring at this for about 20 minutes saying, this just looks like I'm going to lead the entertainment. You'll be delighted to know I will not break out into song because it wouldn't be pretty. But it is such a delight to be here. What a beautiful, beautiful environment for us to have this opportunity to really celebrate the League of Women Voters and the idea that this is the celebration of the passage of the amendment that gave women the right to vote. And so I'm just so pleased to be able to share this moment with you. I don't think I've ever seen this many women in the room together since I arrived in Kent, Ohio. So it's nice to see so many great faces, and looking forward to meeting many of you if I possibly can. I do need to start out. We should all speak gratitude of those who make this kind of event possible, right? So Iris, thank you so very much. And all of you know Alfreda and what a force of nature she is. And I have the pleasure of working with Alfreda every day, so I know you can appreciate not only Alfreda for what she is as a person, but the kind of team she has put together. You just saw the evidence of that team, and that's really so very important. Thank you, and no one could have dreamed that up except the Division of Equity and Inclusion. So we are here today to really celebrate this right of the privilege, the true privilege of voting, and the importance of voting, and the importance of our civic engagement with one another, and the importance that means for all of us. I have to say, as I look at this group of women here, what it affirms for me is what I knew from day one when I experienced this wonderful community. Is there's a warmth here that I have never experienced anywhere that I've been. There's a commitment here to community that is so very strong. And so as I was thinking about this, I tell everyone I was a very happy provost in Richmond, Virginia. Thought that might be where I stayed forever. And then this opportunity came to join this community. And the more I learn, the more I know that this is really a wonderful moment to be a part of this community and to see how well you serve one another and work with one another. And so it's just been such a total pleasure to be here with you. One of the things that I think we're here to celebrate is this idea of our progress as a country, and how the women before 1920 might never have imagined where we are today. The fact that we have women seated on the Supreme Court, that we have women serving in Congress and at many of the highest offices in the land, and that we had a very competitive woman fighting for the chance to serve this country as president. No one could have imagined that, I think, in 1920. And so when I think about that, it really comes from this desire to work together to create a better world for us to be a part of. And the fact that we now still, after all of these years, almost 100 years, we still have miles to go before we sleep. Yes. And the blessings that we have in this country, and realizing that not everyone lives free from oppression, free from poverty, free from others having a voice and the voiceless amongst us. And I think we can never forget what it means for us to have this wonderful privilege and how we must share that. And I have to say, that's really one of the reasons that drives me to remain in an academic university setting. Because whatever we can do to prepare this next generation to be those leaders of tomorrow, it's our responsibility to do so, and to really make sure that we're helping to create an even more progressive tomorrow than we have today, to find those young women and young men who are willing to fight for what is right. We have so much in common in terms of our academic mission with this League of Women Voters. When you think about it, and I looked at your mission statement and was so struck by some of the similarities. One of them, empowering citizens to shape better communities worldwide. Encouraging the informed and active participation of citizens in government, and increasing understanding of major public policy issues. We are one and the same, moving towards similar goals. And if I could do anything to wave a magic wand, it would be that we all realize how much we do have in common and how much it does take all of us from different sectors of a community to really march forward with common goals. Because then we can make that difference. It's not that a university makes any more of a difference than others. It's when we work together. And so as we're working toward this goal, I do have to share just the wonderful excitement. Today was the first day of classes, as many of you may know. You probably know, if not for anything else, the traffic is a little more congested with the arrival of our wonderful students. But it's so nice to see that rebirth, that renewal, the students coming back to be a part of this community. And it makes us more vibrant, I think, in the process. And the fact that we have more than 200 clubs, but two clubs I might highlight are the Young Democrats and Young Republicans, and the fact that they're working very hard in their own ways to make a difference and to encourage us all to take on that responsibility of civic engagement, including not only the right to vote, but the responsibility to vote. And if we could really encourage that, we're coming up on an election season. It tends to be an election season where the turnout is lower than when we have the national election. And I think it behooves us all to think of ways that we can encourage each of us to get out and to exercise that wonderful privilege we have as a right to vote. I also must say, sometimes millennials are characterized as self-absorbed. And I will say that's not my experience with this younger generation. This is a generation hungry to make a difference. They're hungry to give back. they share in ways that are so powerful and remind me of those days of the past when we had our own expression of fighting for the rights of peoples of the world who do not have that wonderful privilege to be a part of a voting society and to not be a part of the democratic process. And these young people, I think, embrace those ideals that we would really like to see pushing forward. Our incoming class of 4,200 freshmen, almost the largest, we were about 4,300 last year. The thing that is most important to me is not only do we have 4,200 young freshmen, and I can tell you I've spent some time with them and they are high energy, is that they are also the most talented. They have the highest GPA and the highest ACT scores in the history of Kent State University. So these are young people coming through to make a difference. I've also had the privilege of visiting every single regional campus. I have to tell you, when I was first approached about the Kent State opportunity, I thought we were this one university in Kent, Ohio, and isn't that nice? And I love a college town, and wouldn't that be nice? And then I found out we are this mega university across Northeast Ohio with 7 regional campuses, really serving communities where we're truly the anchor in those communities. And those are the communities where students would not have any other chance for a post-secondary education were it not for Kent State University being there in their community, offering the opportunity. And that's certainly where we also serve first in families who are going on to college, those who need stronger support. We have a system that does that. And I've been saying across Northeast Ohio particularly, but I can't wait to get to the West Coast and share the same story in the East Coast. I'm hoping we stop in Richmond, Virginia, because I can't wait to tell the folks in Richmond, Virginia what a jewel we have of a university right here in Kent, Ohio. And this is the presidential listening tour. You may have heard something about that. I said in January when I was appointed that I needed to listen and learn from those who know Kent State University in Kent, Ohio, much better than I. I'm new to Ohio, I'm new to Kent State, and I want to listen and hear what others think our greatest hopes and dreams and aspirations are. And I can tell you that the image that I'm forming is this system of a university like none other in the country that I've seen. And that's the system that I just described, 8 campuses. And trust me, in April, I visited all 7 regional campuses in 2 days. That's like 500 miles, 10 hours in the car. The provost and and he's still here. I thought he might look for another job. Todd Dicon and I went from Tuscarawas to Ashtabula. I'm still, I can't believe I can now pronounce these names. As I was going to the interview process, I'm going, oh gosh, I need somebody to just tell me the pronunciations. And then from Geauga, where I'm going Wednesday and Thursday, all the way to East Liverpool, this large footprint of a university. But more importantly, it is a university that serves the communities where it resides. And I think that's the connection that I see with this celebration of the League of Women Voters, is how we are also a community of people where we reside, and that we're trying to lift one another up to the best possible future we can all share together. And that's what drives me in higher education. It's why I so appreciate being a part of this community. I come from a part of the country where I should know hospitality. We Southerners say that we own hospitality, but I can tell you, it is nothing like Ohio. This warmth, this down-to-earth nature, this realism about yourself that has just won me over. So I say now, I'm from Ohio. so special to me. You've given me such a warm welcome. This is the 56th day on the job, and it does feel like the 566th day on the job, because I told my team, and this is how good they are, Alfreda leading the way, I'm sure. We only have one day, 1 week, 1 month, one. Let's make the best of it. Let's get out there and let's make sure that I can engage and learn this community. Well, oh my goodness. I forgot to tell them that I need 5 hours of sleep. I can do just fine with 5. But we are going great guns to make sure that I learn as much as I can as a new president. And I will have to say that I am really gifted to be following in the footsteps of some very, very fine presidents. Lester Lefton left this university in such great shape. It is on the rise, and much because of Lester. But I also wanted to mention Carol Cartwright today. It just seems as I was among the League of Women Voters that I wanted to lift Carol up as that pioneer, first woman president of a university in the state of Ohio. And when we think of the courage of those pioneers, and we stand on the shoulders of those pioneers, I think it's so important for us to make sure that we absorb that knowledge that we are only going forward in ways that are powerful because of those who paved the road before us. Carol was certainly a pioneer. But she's also the one that now female presidents of universities are not that unusual. There's still only 26% of our presidencies in the U.S. are female presidents. But when Carol was coming up in 1991, it was single digits. So it's very, very powerful. I've had lunch with Carol, and we were instant comrades around how to approach our work and how important that work is. We also have that road then to pave for those who come after us. And I think as a League of Women Voters, that is the importance of how we know that we have unfinished business to take care of. And I do want to say this as well. I think we have not only wonderful female leaders who really care about equal rights and equality of rights, but we have some very powerful men who have helped and been arm in arm with us along the way. And so I want to make sure that we are thinking of being arm in arm. This is not combative. This is not taking sides. This is how do we all march forward toward a common objective. And so for the gentlemen in the room, thank you for being here. Thank you for all of the men who have worked with us hand in hand for this work that is so, so very important. As I think about what we have going forward for us, I think about the progress we've made in our community, and I want to thank all of you for your graciousness of taking a very large, sprawling university and embracing it. Yes, traffic is horrendous. And yes, our students think they live in a sequestered area where you don't have to obey traffic laws. You can just walk out in the road, and surely you can just march anywhere that you feel you have the need. But the esplanade that was structured and really dedicated just this past spring is that perfect example of how we work together in unison. I saw some pictures not too long ago. I was at a luncheon where they had before and now, and I was actually just blown away and thinking, wow, I'm glad I came to Kent State in 2014, because there was a picture of a fence that divided the university from the town, and that fence, I think, though not totally high, was really kind of remarkably a barrier of sort of this, we're the town and here's the university. And what we've been able to do over time, much for my predecessors who set the stage, is to say that when we talk about one Kent State, we should also talk about one Kent and Ravenna and Portage County, because we're so important to one another. And so from the bottom of my heart, I thank you as the new president at Kent State University for embracing us and for welcoming our young people to your town. And you provide a quality education as much as we do within the hallowed grounds of Kent State University, because it's experiential learning that really matters. It's being a part of a community, and I tell you that is what has been the most remarkable impression I have in my first 56 days, is this remarkable sense of community. And I think our students feel that. When I met with them, even in January,